yesterday I watched Scary Movie 4 and loved it, so I decided I wanted to immediately watch Scary Movie 5. And I'm pleased to say that I really thoroughly enjoyed this. I can also now say with confidence that Scary Movie 4 is my favourite of the Scary Movie films. But this one was pretty good, and I think it kind of made me want to watch more Paranormal Activity. I'll talk more about this in a moment. But I recently watched the first 3 Paranormal Activities, and they're terrible. They're so bad. But I now want to go and watch another one thanks to this film. Scary Movie 5 was released in 2023. It's directed by Malcolm D. Lee, written by Pat Croft and David Zucker, and we have a cast including Ashley Tisdale, Simon Rex, Charlie Sheen, Lindsay Lohan, Terry Crews. Anna Faris isn't in this one, and I will say I can feel her absence. I do miss Cindy not being in this, but the characters we get are good, and we have various parodies in this one. I won't go through them all, of course, but the main parodies include Mama, which is brilliant. I haven't seen it in such a long time, and I really want to go and watch that again. The the Mama parody here is, of course, the fact that our protagonists are looking after 2 young girls, and they have been raised in awkward circumstances. I don't want to give away too much about the story of Mama in case you haven't seen that. But we have 2 young children here, one of whom is quite an interesting character. We also have a parody of Paranormal Activity, which was more enjoyable than Paranormal Activity itself. But it did make me want to go and watch the 4th one, so I might actually do that at some point. I might regret it. We have various other parodies throughout this as well, and it works really well. I will say, as a point of criticism, maybe, I don't know if this is a criticism or a personal opinion, so take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt, but I feel like the parodies weren't as fun. The parodies from the previous 4 films have been really fun and quite silly and really enjoyable, whereas this one, the dialogue was very funny, but a lot of the parodies themselves weren't that funny. And I guess obviously at this point they parodied quite a lot of the major horror films. There are still many they could parody, of course, but I feel like some of the other ones just lend themselves better to a parody, whereas Mama, in my opinion, is not the most parodiable film. They do a decent enough job with it, but compared with other horrors, it's not as good. Paranormal Activity, yeah, to an extent, that can definitely be parodied. I think they did a reasonable job with that, so it's not as fun as the previous ones. I don't think the film selection is as fun, but again, 5 films in, they have parodied what I would consider to be some of the main ones, but there are still plenty left to parody, and we have some great characters, very creative film, the narrative flows well enough, amazing cast, and in general, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It's fun, it's a little silly, it's very, very creative, the performances are very good. It's not for everybody, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it. While I don't think the parodies are as strong or as fun as some of the earlier parodies, I prefer this to some of the earlier Scary Movies. So maybe that's contradictory. I don't really know. But either way, in terms of the actual enjoyability, I'd say this is maybe 2nd or 3rd top rated. Scary Movie 4 is my favourite. And then I'd say either 3 or 5. I'll put them together. And then I haven't seen 1 and 2 in quite a while, so I'm not sure how I'd rank them, but I just remember them not being completely to my tastes compared with these. But I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. Not quite as good as Scary Movie 4, but I'm pleased that I jumped straight into it because it was a really great experience. And if you've seen the other Scary Movies, absolutely check it out. Do you need to watch it in order? Well, no, largely because this one doesn't contain Cindy, so you don't need to follow her journey. But unless there's a specific reason why you're interested in this one, my advice would be to watch them in order anyway. But if you don't love the earlier ones, but you like the concept, I'd say stick with them, because in my opinion at least, they do get better. I don't know if that's the general opinion. I haven't looked at any reviews. I've got no idea. This one has, let me check, IMDb 3.6 out of 10 across 80,000 reviews and ratings. Let me just check what that compares with Scary Movie 1. 6.3 across 303,000 reviews and ratings. I will say, as much as some of the humour in the first films aren't as much to my taste, it is a very, very strong film. So, in fact, it was one of the very first adult scary films that I ever saw. It might have even been the first. because I watched The Little Vampire when I was about 8 years old, and it terrified me to the point I never wanted to watch horror ever again. And I think I watched Scary Movie with a cousin. And a few years later, scary films became my absolute favorite. Horror is my favorite genre. It's what I consume the most. But it was a long journey to get here. And the first Scary Movie film might have been at the start of that. So these films, I do love them. I do think they're absolutely brilliant. And Scary Movie 5 is pretty fantastic. If you're a fan of the Scary Movie films, definitely check it out. I thought it was a really great experience.